welcome back to another video. Today we got a lot of projects going on. We're doing lots of well work today. We got one well that we're gonna go fix right now, and then we gotta go to another field later. We gotta turn off all the water. We cranked it up, started watering the wheat, but there's one well that the check valve does not work. It's flowing everything back into the well, plus the well is out. So we gotta do a lot of maintenance on that one well. The plan is to turn off all the water, let it all drain there. We're gonna chop it off and we're gonna re-weld a whole new pipe on there, a new check valve, everything. We're gonna redo everything. That's gonna be a big project for later. But we're gonna wait till the pivots made one full rotation. Right before lunch, then it'll have made a full rotation, so we'll wait till then to turn everything off. So in the meantime, we got the poly rig in front of us. My brother's pulling it to this well that we got here on the field. We're gonna fix one well real quick, and then we'll head that way. We'll work on that big project. It's gonna be a big one. So gonna head to this field now. This field is also watering. Here we don't have any major issues. We did have one leak that we already fixed. We put a whole new pipe, same situation. We fixed everything. So this section is good as far as leaks. So once this pivot here has made a full rotation, we're not using all the water that we have. We're kind of, trying to preserve it a little bit. So once this field is done watering right here, we're gonna switch it over to this field and start watering this wheat. We already did water it once, but kind of just switching the water back and forth right now, just to preserve a little bit, that we don't use all the water. We can try to save it a little bit more for the summer. Don't want to overdo it with watering. But while I'm here, I'm just gonna double check, make sure it's still driving. And there she is. And right here in between the fields, you can tell, you see the little spot right there? We have an underground water leak here, but only sometimes, and it's weird. I'm waiting for it to finally do something, break or something, but it just doesn't. It'll leak for like maybe an hour, say whenever, I don't know, it's random, and it's not consistent either, and it's bugging me, because some days it'll leak there a little bit and then it won't leak for like months. Like no water will come out of there. There's an underground water line there, I know that for sure. Some days it'll leak for a little bit, and not even a lot, like just a small little puddle, like you would pour like 15 gallons of water on the ground, and then it won't leak for a month or two, and then it'll finally leak a little bit, and then it'll stop again. It never gets worse than that. So I really want it to either stop leaking completely or break enough to where you force me to fix it. Don't do this half and half in between. It's really annoying. I've just been trying to keep an eye on it, drive by there at least somewhat frequently, because I know it's there mentally, because I've seen it leak there, but then like a couple hours later it'll stop. So it's never been causing issues. But the second that it does, or the second we lose pressure anywhere, I know where the issue is, because I've been keeping an eye on it. But here to the field, I'm gonna start fixing the well. We actually started this well yesterday, but we did not start a fire. No, we did not. There was not a lot of grass here that we wanted to get rid of. But we started this well yesterday, and then we couldn't due to the house well being broken. So we had to fix that first. We got to put this well on hold. A little further. Come on, a little further. Right there. Yeah, we're centered right there. And I think they might have pulled this guy in a little bit. So yeah, we should have plenty of room here. We already disconnected the wires. Either something's up, I'm not quite sure. The motor tests out fine, but it doesn't bring any water up, so the splines down there are messed up, or maybe the pump is shot. Something is wrong down there, so we're gonna pull it up. It's poly, so it's relatively quick. We'll pull it up and see what kind of issues we can find. Look at that. Pull it out. Didn't take but a couple of minutes. Can y'all spot the problem? Yeah, looks like this pump has seen every last second that it possibly could. It's worn through right there. How many stages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stages completely worn through. Yikes. Well, it looks like we got a 6-inch 7.5 horse in here with a 4-inch 7.5 horse pump, and I hate putting those two together, so it looks like we might just put both brand new in here, because this one that we have, this pump that we have, is a 4-inch, and the motor that we brought with is a 4-inch. This 4-inch pump doesn't have the adapter on the bottom to attach to a 6-inch motor, so we might have to put both 4-inch in here. We'll see when we take it further apart, see what it looks like. All right, here's the new pump, and it does not have the bigger base. And I looked at this one. It's not something we can take off of this one. Normally it would cut off right here, but I guess from factory they welded this bigger base on the bottom. Can't use this one. I thought we might be able to use that bottom base, maybe. Then we could reuse the motor, but we're just gonna put a whole new motor on it, and we'll check this one up. We'll look into it, see if it's worn off or anything. Wires tested good when I tested them, so if it still checks out fine, we'll just stick this guy in the barn and use it another day. Use it at a different time, maybe in a different well. Why do the panel boxes always have to be so low to the ground? I bet that's comfortable, huh?
Oh, it is so comfortable. In fact, I have never been more comfortable in my life.
You want a pillow?
I would love a pillow. I'm so sleepy. I may just take a nap.
Now she works again. Pumping to the pivot. All right, next one. All right, and that's connected. Got myself a little train here because we're gonna need a lot more than what we think we need. We need the poly rig for sure. We need the welder, and we need a 4-wheeler to turn all the wells off and to turn everything back on later. So we're also looking all the parts we need because we're converting everything. We did get ourselves a new elbow, which he already grabbed all of it, and we got a new plate, all the fittings and everything. And we have these pipes. We got a long one and a short one. I don't even know what we're gonna need, but I think I'm gonna take with a long one just in case, an 8-foot piece. We can always cut ourselves to the exact length that we need it. And did you already get the new check valve?
No.
And then I will try not to forget the check valve. I'll go back and get that as well. But we're getting, hopefully we don't forget anything. Usually you tend to forget something, but you just bring with, try to remember, you bring with everything that you think you need. Here's the new elbow that we're gonna put on there. Air vent we have, I believe I saw that over here. Yep. Yeah, we got a brand new air vent. We got some fittings that we're gonna need. We got ourselves a dresser. I'm going over things in my head on what we need and what we don't need. And I think after that check valve, I think we got everything. I might have to do another double check in my mind, but then I think we got everything. Got me my train. Time to roll out. Just unhooked my trailers. My brother went out. He's turning off all the wells, and I'm gonna open the valve at that pivot. We're currently watering the furthest one in the corner, and that one is kind of uphill, and the well we need to fix is on that side of the pivot. It's not the highest one on this section, but it is definitely higher up there. So if I open the valve at this pivot, since we're not watering it, all the water should be draining from that end of the section down this way, and within maybe an hour or two that should be drained up there, no more water, and we should be able to chop it off and weld anything we need to. That's the plan. We'll see if it will drain like I want it to. There's no way of knowing, but that's the plan. All right, the next project, the big one. This one, it doesn't look old. I mean, it's a new style compared to what we used to. We used to put the weld-on ones on there, and this thing doesn't close anymore. It's old enough to where it's practically open flow. It goes straight back down into the well. Not what we want, so we're gonna chop it off right here, right up against the pot. Chop it off, and then we'll have to weld some sort of, maybe like a cap. I'll probably chop a little bit out of here, weld that hole shut, and then cut a 2-inch hole, because what we're putting in there is going to be this guy right here. Sticking that guy there, and then the noose check valve that we're putting on there is going to be one of these brass ones, just threads. So if this thing ever breaks, we can just unscrew it, put a new one on there, and then we'll be good to go again. So this one flows that way, so this will screw into here, and then just like that, put it in there, and then it'll be good as new again. And he just barely pointed out, I was wondering why, I asked him why it was all wet over here, and he pointed out another two reasons actually why we're swapping it. This gate valve is cracked right here, so we got to replace that. And these are not cheap either. And also a big reason is this plate. This is very annoying to deal with. There's poly in here. It's essentially, we could probably weld this onto here, but that would also be inconvenient. So we're wanting to get rid of all of this. We need to make this newer here. I can already tell you, yeah, we forgot one thing at the barn. We forgot new conduit. We still got the old conduit. They want to reuse that. It's quite old. If we can get the threads, if we can unscrew that out of that plate right there, we can reuse that. If not, we'll have to go back to the barn and get new conduit. So, new pump going in. Old one was bad. While he's putting together the pump and motor and connecting it back to the poly, I'm actually going to start on this. Gonna chop that off and start welding a plate on there. Ooh, looking good. I might be the greatest welder. I mean, don't look at that side. That looks good enough. Yeah, I'll just show you that one. But now for the fun part. Oh, enough for underneath. I always enjoy welding underneath. It's the greatest, especially when you're in a tiny little hole like this. Love to see it. But I did have a couple of holes poked through right there, so I had to just tack on a couple other ones. I messed up a little bit right there, so I had to go over again. So, you know, it's not perfect, but it'll be watertight. That's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter how pretty it is, as long as it holds water. That's what counts. Well, it's welded shut, and as per usual, the bottom looks, you know, pretty terrible, as it probably would. But now this is pretty much done. I believe it's tightened. He's actually just doing the conduit right now, getting that fitting out of there, see if he can actually get it. We'll lower this down, and then we'll, with 2 levels, one on here and one on that pipe, we'll see exactly where we'll need to cut that hole into the pot. We'll cut it and then weld that 2-inch pipe on there, and then I think then we should be good to go. Hey Conley!
Yes.
How comfortable are you right now?
-5 out of 10.
Really?
It's actually not too bad. Earlier I was there.
That's good to know. Project complete. We got 2 sets of angle irons on each side of this dresser, because in the winter when it does freeze or with a lot of back pressure, it can actually pop apart, and you don't want to do that. So we put braces on each side. One side kind of can tip it to the one side. turns out it was gonna come way too low. So we had to weld some angle iron on each side, something to brace it onto the plate and just to raise it up a little bit. And now we were able to do actually smack dab in the center of that plate that I welded on earlier. I thought it was gonna be like higher or lower, but now that this was extremely low, like it would have came to like down here, and I did not want to weld way down underneath there, so we just raised it up in general where I thought it would be convenient to weld, and then we went from there, leveling this off actually, not 100% level, just tipping this side a little bit lower to where the water will flow back into the well. That way water doesn't accumulate right here and potentially freeze and crack this dresser throughout the winter. So this project is done. He's just connecting the wires, which I think he's just about done. We're gonna crank up this well, and if this one's working, then we'll crank up the rest of the wells on this whole section and start watering. I believe it was that field that we want to water next. We'll start watering that one. We are up and running. All right, well, that was a good productive day. I feel accomplished. So everything that I had on my list to do today, we ended up doing. It's now 6:30, sun's already going down. So it's slowly getting, the days are slowly getting a little bit longer to where we can do more and more things throughout the day. But as for today in this video, as always, I do appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all guys in the next one.